everybody, Allie here with ABC Bead Supply, and I'm here today to give you tutorials for assembling all of the projects that you'll find inside the 8 Days of Halloween Countdown boxes. If you pre-ordered these, they have already shipped out. They're on their way to you. If you did not pre-order them, we do have a few extras that are available while supplies last over on our website at abcbeadsupply.com. That will ship right out. The idea behind these is to start 8 days before Halloween, starting with project number 8 and counting your way down to Halloween with 1 day left, just to celebrate the season. So just a fun little countdown. If you want to sit down and do them all in one sitting, you absolutely can, but just to let you know how we have structured and set up the box. So if you don't have one yet, definitely hop on over to our site at abcbeadsupply.com and grab yours. If you have a box and you want to be surprised by the projects as you open them, then I would just recommend watching your first project, pausing this video, and then coming back to it when you're ready for project number 2, and not watching this video all the way through. If you don't care about the surprise and you want to see how to make everything in advance as you open them up, go ahead and watch this whole thing, because we will be going through all of the projects. And then if you want to make more of any of these projects, we also have loaded all of the silicone focal beads. So we use silicone focal beads in the on these projects, in these kits, that we have not yet loaded to our website. We wanted them to be new to these boxes. So we have loaded extras of all of those silicone focal beads that you're going to see too, that are available while supplies last, along with everything else in the Halloween collection. We're not restocking Halloween at all anymore this season. So now that we have this final batch, these extras and the additional silicone focals loaded, no more Halloween is going to be loading this year. So get everything while you can, while supplies last on that collection. We have a blog post up on our website as well at abcbeadsupply.com that has photos of all 8 of these projects too, so that you can, if you're a visual person as far as wanting to follow along with the photo, that way you can see the order of the bead patterns and all of that to duplicate the projects that way as well. So all of that, all those resources are available to you. So this is what the box looks like. Inside, you're going to find all 8 of your projects, and they are numbered for you to go day by day as well. So let's start off with day number 8. So day number 8. Day number 8, we have this adorable Trick or Treat silicone beverage cup charm. And this you can put right around the handle of your tumblers. They screw and droop right over the little handles there. So inside number 8, I'm not opening up this one. Inside number 8, we have all of these supplies. So I don't want to ruin that. That can be a kit for someone else. One more extra that we can load. So with these, you're going to take your cable, and you want to make sure that the rotating barrel part goes over the non-screwed end, and that you're putting your beads over the end with the screws. And then you're just going to take your silicone beads and push them right on over these cables. And you only use silicone beads for these projects because the silicone is going to expand, the hole that will expand to spread over that screw rung and then slurp back down to its original size to hang on the charm on the cable. And then you don't have to worry about them falling off because the hole goes back to its original size. You could pull it back off, but it's not going to just fall off on its own. So they will stay on that way. And then when you're all done, that just loops together to secure shut. And you've got this finished project here. So there's a look at that. Again, these extras of just the silicone focals have also loaded on the site. So if you love any of these projects and want to make more of any one project in particular, we have loaded the silicone focal beads individually. And then the other supplies you'll find on the site as well, while supplies last. The next up, we have day number 7. We've got a bookmark, cute little ghost holding a stack of books. I just love these little bookmarks. So this is the day that we are on. Inside, we've got all of your contents. So we are going to take the satin cord, and that is going to just go right through the hole in the bookmark, the top of the bookmark. And if you're having a hard time pushing it through at all, I highly recommend a bead reamer. Just make sure that there's no metal that is sticking that cord. It never goes through on the first time when I'm videotaping. Never. All right, so you're gonna put that satin through, and then you're gonna go down about an inch, about a little bit of an inch drop, and do an overhand knot. And I didn't bring a book over here with me, but what I like making them this way with the drop, because then it gives you more room to kind of go up and over the pages. I like my bookmarks to go right over the top of the cover while I'm reading, when I'm close up the book. So it just gives you a nice drop for if you have a wider, thicker book. So now we're going to grab a loop turner, and you're going to start from the bottom and go up from there with loading your beads onto your loop turner. So we've got the orange lentil, a white abacus, we've got a silver ring spacer, a spider web 15 millimeter, the ghost focal, and the orchid 12 millimeter silicone. Once you've got all your beads on, you'll just loop them over the hook of your loop turner to pull everything up and on, and slide that right up. And then you're gonna pull back with your left hand to make the beads taut, do an overhand knot, and work that knot right up to the base of that final lentil bead. And then to finish this off, I like to do a knot in the end of each of the tails of satin, and I don't like them to line up exactly. I like them being intentionally off just a little. Looks a little more natural, and then just trim those ends, and then you'll take a lighter and just hit the tips quick with each of those satin with a lighter so that they don't come frayed, and they just gives it a nice little polished look. So there's day number 7 with your bookmark, your ghost bookmark. 6 days left until Halloween at this point. We've got this adorable little boo pen. I absolutely love the plaid pen and the plaid bead with the chevron stripes and polka dots that are in this boo focal bead. Again, all of these new silicone focal beads that you're seeing are now available on our website as well. So we're gonna just unscrew the base of that pen, and we're gonna put on the boo silicone focal, the black polka dot 12 millimeter, orange and black plaid 16 millimeter, black lentil, and an orange pumpkin, translucent pumpkin bead. And then you're just going to pull up to fully expose that screw. The nice thing about silicone is that it squishes. You're not stuck to the length that you already see. I always recommend a dab of E6000 glue on that screw before you put that pen base back in, just to ensure that it doesn't accidentally come undone, especially with pens, since you're twisting them to expose the ink. You could accidentally unscrew this whole rod, and you don't want to do that and have the beads fall off. So E6000 glue is highly recommended for any of your beadable rod projects like that. Project number 5, we have a rear view mirror car charm. Now, some of you are going to have a black ring, and some of you are going to have a white ring in these kits. We had a package delayed at customs while we were trying to get all of these out. We waited as long as we felt that we could, and then we needed to get these out. So there's a couple substitutions on things that we have made to make these projects work and to be able to get them shipped to you. You'll never even know what things were supposed to be on the majority of these, but one of the things that you will notice is that some of you, if you get a white ring in your kit, we had to do split up the colors on this due to that inventory issue, and they both look great. Honestly, I was debating on which color to even use. So some of you are going to have white and some of you are going to have black. They both look awesome. The satin cord is going to just go through this tassel first. I love these tassels. These we actually don't carry individually at this time. If people want them, let me know. I could be convinced to offer them individually because I love them for rear view mirror car charms and for wristlets. We've been using them in kits. We just haven't sold them individually. So if that's an item you want, let me know. You're gonna put that 20 millimeter white polka dot bead on first. That's acrylic, and then we're gonna go into the silicone. So to get all of these silicone beads on, again, your loop turner is gonna be your best friend. And we are going to start, let's see, the first thing on is going to be the last thing. I always have to think in reverse on these. Let me lay them out in the order that we want them. This is always a trick. If you're not sure what to start with, we want them on this way, which means we're gonna go this way. So yes, we're going upside down with building this. So we're gonna start with the ring, and then you're gonna do your purple lentil silicone bead. And then we've got our spooky season. This one has glitter in it. It's so cute. I love the glitter background in the black. And then a pumpkin 12 millimeter silicone. And then the other end of that rod. So you're building everything onto this loop turner to make it easier to thread. Put your tails of satin cord in to pull them down and on to the satin cord. And then just an overhand knot to secure everything in place. Get that right up close next to the top of the ring. And then to finish this off, we're going to put the breakaway clasps on each side. And then you're gonna measure how this is personal preference and how long you want it to hang. Anywhere between 6 and 8 inches is generally good. I prefer it to be a little shorter at the 6-inch mark. So that's where I'm gonna go. And I mean, you can even really go to 4. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna take it back. I have in the past always used shorter satin cord tassels with this. This tassel is longer. So let's make this a little shorter so that that tassel doesn't hang too long on the car. Let's go down to 4 inches on this. So I'm gonna measure 4 inches and then just pinch it with my finger. Your first knot really doesn't need to be an exact measurement. We're just eyeballing it here because then you're gonna measure off of that existing knot for the second knot. So you put your first knot in, you wanna make it a double knot, and then we'll hold those ends together, pinch right opposite where that knot was on the second cord so we can get this in the same spot. So they're even, and we will do another double knot and then trim those ends. You don't need to worry about the ends of those, lighter finishing them like with the other. And then this goes around your rear view mirror so that you can get that around what's connected to your car. And there you go. Yeah, I think you're gonna want the 4 inches on that one with the length of this tassel. Okay, so there's day number 5. Number 4, we have a phone tether for your cell phone, phone tether. You can put them in tablets too. These little T-bars just go right into the charging port hole in your case. And then we have given you a lot of length so that you can make these longer lanyard length if you want to wear the tether, or this is shown shorter as wristlet length. And then there is a breakaway clasp on this as well for ease of putting on and off if you would prefer to do it that way versus just sliding it over, depending on the length that you go with. So you're going to hold your ends together on the satin cord, just folding this lime cord in half, and then we'll pull the tails through that loop just like so. And now we're going upside down kind of with this. We're putting this at the top, and we want the beads to go in this order from large down. So with our loop turner, we're going to start at the bottom with that lime green 12 millimeter, orange abacus, orchid, beach ball, silicone. In my spooky era, this is another glitter one. So there's glitter in the background of that as well. And we're going to loop those over and pull them on the satin cord. And hold your beads, squish them over to the left closer to that tether while you do your overhand knot, and then you're going to decide the length that you want them to be before you trim. So if you are doing them as a wristlet, I did around 4.5, 5 and no, where am I measuring? 4.25. It was random when I did that sample. I'm not gonna lie. I felt like it could be a touch bigger, so maybe go with 5 inches. Again, this is personal preference. You've got to find the measurements that work for you based on if you're wearing it around your neck and you want it all the way down long in length, if you want it somewhere in between, if you want the wristlet to hang further, if you want it to be pretty snug and to use the breakaway clasp. It's personal preference. So we give you a lot of options here with giving you extra cord length, and then you just got to determine the measurements that you ultimately want. So I'm gonna do a double knot here, and then again you find it on the other side, just like we just showed on the rear view mirror car charm. So you don't need to see me finishing that off, you get the idea. So that is your phone tether for number 4. Now we are on to day 3, 3 days left until Halloween. We have this adorable Boo hand lotion keychain kit. These lotion keychain kits have been so popular, so we decided to throw in a style that was exclusive to this box. So we've got a couple other, we've got these Hocus Pocus ones that are available individually a la carte over on the website, along with a fall design. We have everyday lotion kits too. They've been a bestseller since we started doing them last Christmas. So we found these fun little Boo ghosts and cute little pink plaid to pair with that, just to make the really, really sweet little lotion kit. So these are the materials that we have for this one. When you're making these lotion kits, you do need to put a hole in the top of your lotion. So we're just going to take you can use a foam pad, anything spongy so that you don't pierce your table. And then you're just going to take a bead reamer and you're going to just go right through the corner with that bead reamer to make that hole, and just to poke the hole right. And you want to make sure you go right where the lotion bottle is sealed off and not into the lotion bottle. Very important. And we've got a keychain. This is one of the Silver Economy keychains. We've got a couple different styles of keychains. All right, so we're gonna do the black silicone 12 millimeter, a pure white abacus, a white spacer ring, pink and black plaid, 20 millimeter, and then we'll just repeat everything to finish it off. Again, you're just going to pull up to fully expose that screw rung before you put the end back on. A dab of E6000 glue, highly recommended, especially with keychains, since they're going in and out of purses and bags and there's a whole lot of movement happening with them. I definitely would not skip on the E6000 with that, so that screw ball at the bottom does not come undone. And then you're just going to open up the chain, the last chain on this side, and push that lotion bottle on through the hole. Put that back on here. My hands are not being very coordinated today. I had to trim my nails and I'm struggling a little bit with them being shorter. I used to think that them being longer was an issue, but now that I've had them a little longer for so long, I'm having an issue with not having them to grab onto. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the pliers to hold this still, because clearly my fingers aren't cutting it. All right, get that in. And then we'll just close that right back up, like so. And then you've got your lotion bottle. Lotion bottle keychain, always have lotion with you at all times. Super cute. Okay, so that's 3. 2 days left until Halloween. We've got this adorable little spider clip. So we have given you a self-adhesive grommet for it as well with this pack, so you can peel and stick it where you'd like. These are so fun. You can use them for your e-readers. So if you're a reader, you can clip these right to your e-reader cover and you have a fun little charm. You can also peel and stick these onto the backing here is self-adhesive. You can also peel and stick them onto tumblers if you want things to hang. We have ways to hang them as from the straws and the handle, but this just gives you one more way that you can adorn them. You can also opt to not use the self-adhesive piece that we gave you, and these make a great clip for backpacks and bags and totes as well. So a lot of different things that you can do with these little clips. Super cute. Okay, so we're gonna take the stretchy elastic cord and you're gonna pre-stretch. You're gonna get all of the excess stretch and give out of that string. We're gonna fold it in half, and then the looped end is gonna go through the end of the swivel. And then you're gonna just put your beads on. So we've got the 16mm iridescent black and white check, one of my favorite beads. I have to stop myself from using that bead on everything. We're gonna do that first, and then we've got the spacer, and then we've got a 16mm lilac glow in the dark shimmer. Love that bead. You charge it up in the sun, and then it's gonna glow a little bit at night. And then at this point, we're gonna split these two tails of stretchy cord in half. And on the right side, we're gonna do the 12mm black iridescent, the violet 8mm cosmic glitter, and then the spider pendant. And then you're gonna just loop back up with this right-hand side. We're still just using the string on the right. And we're gonna go back up the 8mm and back up the 12mm so that this cord meets the other, and you've got two right here, right below that 16mm bead. And then you'll be able to tie a double knot, give it a good stretch and pull to make sure that that knot's gonna come undone and slide on you. Once you're sure that it's not moving, you can trim it a little bit up from the knot, and then the 16mm bead, you can just shimmy right over those tails, and then it'll be a hidden knot that you won't even see. And you want to make sure you put the beads in this order because the little legs of the spider need to have that 8mm bead down by it. The 12mm bead won't fit through, so just something to keep in mind, to not change the order up on that necessarily because of the need for your smallest bead to be down by the spider. So that is number 2. Last but not least, number 1, we've got this really sweet bracelet. I absolutely love it. I can't wait to wear mine. It's got a little skull bead in the middle, and then these are the matte pearly luster black 8mm beads that we carry, and then the mini rings, disc spacer beads that we carry as well. The skulls we don't have this year on the main site. These were exclusive to this box, but these other components we have, and these are just so fun for bracelets. So with that, you are gonna wanna just decide if you wanna use all of the beads that you were given or not. I feel like it's actually, I mean, it's kind of loose, so if you have an even smaller wrist than me, you might want to take a couple of beads out. If you have a little wider wrist, then you're going to want to definitely use them all. So we've given enough beads for you to kind of tailor it to fit your needs. If you're making this for a child, then obviously you're going to take out some beads. But just like the last project, you're going to pre-stretch the elastic, get all of the extra slack out, and then you're just going to load up your beads. So the pattern in the middle here, let's do 2 of them on, and then I'm just going to show you the pattern component because you don't need to see every bead being strung. We've got the 2 matte pearly luster, we've got the disc, and then I did 2 more pearly luster of the matte, and then another disc. And these discs come in 4 different metal colors. They're so sweet. Love adding these to bracelets. And 2 more matte, and then we've got that skull stone and 2 you know what? I lied. We do have a few of these stone skulls left over from what we purchased for these bracelets. So I'm going to load those up on the website and let you grab them individually too if you want to make more of these, because they're really cute. Why not, right? I was going to throw them in grab bags, but why don't I load what we do have? So then 2 more. And that spacer. And then 2 more. And then from here, you're just going to add beads evenly to each side based on how long, with what's left, based on how long you want the bracelet to be. So if you use all of them, it's going to be this length. If you don't use all of them, it's obviously going to be smaller. So you're going to go from there until you get all of your beads on. Once you've got all of the beads on, you're just going to grab your 2 ends, and we're going to do a knot, and then a second knot, and then you're going to pull and make sure that that knot doesn't slip. Oh, it slipped. See, that's why you double check. Sometimes when you are using the stretchy elastic, it can just slip on you. So we're going to do it again to make sure that that knot doesn't slip. Now we're good. It's so weird. Sometimes it just doesn't grab on the first time. So you've got to make sure that you test it before you trim the ends and the tails so that you can redo the knot. For the third and final knot, you're going to wrap around twice just for a little extra security. Again, double check that that's not slipping before you trim. And then if you want to add a little glue to these knots, I recommend for bracelet knots using hydro cement. It's this tiny little bottle. It's a super tiny little pin-sized nozzle, and it gives you a lot more precision than these 6,000 for doing a little bit of extra glue security on those. So there you go. There you've got your bracelet. So there are all 8 of the projects. Thank you for counting down to Halloween with me. I hope you enjoyed making these, and we have extra supplies available while supplies last for everything over on the site at abcbeadsupply.com.